Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, January 6. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is looking to find additional sources of funding to repair, maintain, and rehabilitate parochial roads across the island.
Of the 27,000 kilometers of road network in the country, the local authorities have responsibility for almost 23,000 kilometers of those road network. What is given to the local authorities for road maintenance is not adequate.
The local government minister says discussions are underway with the Ministry of Finance for funding separate from the Parochial Revenue Fund. He was speaking at a regional sensitization session for elected local government officials on Wednesday. Mr. McKenzie said he was hoping that the money would be allocated in the upcoming financial year, which begins on April 1. On another matter of revenue, the local government minister is urging elected councillors to set a good example by paying their property tax.
We will have no moral authority as elected representatives if we are urging the citizens to pay property taxes when the elected councillors who have an obligation to pay their property taxes is not paying their property taxes.
He says employee contracts will only be renewed when their own property tax obligations are met.
What I'm going to be doing, and we're going to be providing to all the municipal corporations a list of our councillors who falls in that category.
As for councillors operating businesses that earn in excess of $500,000 in one calendar year, Minister McKenzie says these individuals will become eligible to pay a trade license fee. In other tax news, government will be going after persons with multiple employment and who may be benefiting from the tax threshold more than once in a given year. Individuals are entitled to one threshold per year of assessment and must report and declare income from more than one employer. Tax Administration Jamaica (TAJ) has launched an audit program aimed at regularizing those who are circumventing the regulations. TAJ says thousands of these taxpayers have been unearthed and identified by the recently implemented Revenue Administration Information System (RACE) through its Discovery module. Taxpayers will receive letters from TAJ's audit team outlining their current tax status. As is customary, individuals will be given the opportunity to make a payment arrangement, which will be facilitated through the tax payment portal at jamaicatax.gov.jm. The program, which is currently underway, is expected to continue into the next financial year. It is one of several compliance strategies being employed by the Revenue Authority. Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Carl Samuda has approved the implementation of a new lobster regime for the 2017-2018 season, which begins on July 1. The new lobster regime will now be implemented to facilitate the licensing process beginning in February. Under the new regime, the April to June lobster close season remains in effect, but the new licenses will be granted for a 2-year period and not the customary 1-year period that has obtained up to this point. Individuals and companies applying for the lobster licenses can do so in 4 separate categories: industrial fishing, artisanal fishing, carriers or transportation of lobsters, and research and scientific purposes. The new regime now provides for the selection of licensees based on the fulfillment of some agreed criteria. Minister Samuda says the new regime is to ensure the granting of lobster licenses in an equitable manner. And finally, Chief Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Winston Delahaye, is appealing to Jamaicans to participate in the Jamaica Health and Lifestyle Survey 3, which is currently being carried out across the island. It is being implemented by the Caribbean Institute for Health Research in association with the ministry. Dr. Delahaye says the research team has met with some amount of resistance in the field, especially as it relates to providing blood samples for testing blood glucose levels.
Persons aren't accustomed to providing a blood sample, lots of fear surrounding that. So these are issues that we must address because we're now moving forward to actually having clear markers by objective testing. What's your blood glucose level as opposed to a self-report that you're diabetic or not. It's a big difference.
The Chief Medical Officer was addressing a recent JIS think tank. The survey provides data for the assessment of health, quality of life indices, and economic expenditure in the health systems. The current project will provide nationally representative data for the population aged 15 years and older, using a sample of 3,500 persons. It focuses on the 4 priority health areas of chronic disease and their risk factors, sexually related conditions, violence-related injuries and deaths, and epidemics of emerging and re-emerging infections. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.